Hello, YouTube, and welcome back into some Let's Play Civilization 6. We're about to get our first spy. There's not... I guess our spy is mostly gonna... Well... What's our spy doing? And also, you need to come down that way. Good luck. I think we're going towards uranium first. We've got some issue... Like, there's a debate to go to chemistry first, and I can see the value. But I could also see the value of just hoarding our gold. Make sure that we at least have uranium. Maybe get an encampment or two to store some extra, or maybe send out a weird settler to go and settle it. I think uranium is kind of the first step for my plan here. So that's what we're doing first. This is not worked by anybody but us, right? Versus this is. Okay, so this is a good first tile for them. All right, we are harvesting the marsh. Wish I could grab that meteor. See if we can get any vision there. I don't know. Sorry, Flappy. We'll see what happens. I don't plan on nuking, but I do want to use GDRs. It doesn't mean we can't nuke or that we won't nuke. It's just that I'm not planning on it. All right, so we could build this. Let's build this just 'cause. It's only 13 turns. 71 production here is quite good. Let's build that. All right, I did mention that we might want an encampment for storing things, such as strategics. Is that something we want in this city, or do I want a +2 theater square? I think it's something I want in the city. And I'll build it there. It's hurting the appeal on these for this preserve, but I don't really care about the preserve. The preserves are mostly like buffing these tiles, and that one too. So we're definitely hurting appeal with that, but that's okay. I think another encampment there would make some sense. And we're just building these for strategic capacity. 2 might be enough. Oh, I can't spy on my allies anymore, right? That is a thing. But I can spy on England. That's a good change. That's a very good change. Makes no sense. Why wouldn't you spy on your allies? I mean, that's fair historically. That is absolutely fair historically. Oh, that's nice, Smev. Nice. Historically and currently, yeah. Also true. Let's take our movement. All right, new Congress, so we lose a trade route, which is a bit of a bummer. Grievances don't really matter. I'm not really producing a bunch of units, especially if we're just going to do buying GDRs. So these kind of don't matter to me. I don't know. I don't think these really matter. I'm not even going to commit to using our Diplo favor. I guess that. Yeah, cheaper boats. We'll go gold buy on this one, and I will commit a little bit to it. But I just don't see... I don't see buying a ton of units here. All right. Minus 50% with gold. That's what we won. And more grievances for Cleo. Sure. And I mostly just want this. I can go with either of those. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Is that this guy? Considered to be the greatest Portuguese author of all time? Wait. His life work, his written life work contains 8,000 rhymed dissyllable words. No, you're fine. You're fine. Interesting. That's a fun fact. Thank you for sharing it. Uh-oh. Rip Mohenjo. Rip Mohenjo. Okay, there's the industrial era with colonialism. We are still looking for 17 more era score.
My man.
17 more era score, huh? Lujo, thanks for the follow. I kind of want the envoys. I kind of want all of this. We're going to get this. Let's get that for sure. Now we've got our regular secured. We need 14 more. I can absolutely see buying this as well. We've got spots for him. Did we miss an engineer? I don't think one that we wanted. No, we haven't missed any engineers, actually. All right, so now we just need 11. So Dido is science. Mansa was economic. And then Philip was culture. Keep our crazy trade route yields going. Oh my goodness. 63 gold. Wait a minute. Could go on either of these. And I do want to unlock St. Basil's. All right, now we have a bunch of envoys. We're going to have even more next turn. Mohenjo's dying, so I'm not going to send them any. Could take a quick policy switch for Diplo. Trade routes to city-states get 2 gold. It's another chunk of gold to grab as well. So first things first, let's grab Diplomatic League. We'll get more envoys next turn. $70 gold trade routes. $70 gold. You'll love to see it. And we're at 1,500 gold per turn on turn 150. So there's a good target. Like 10 gold per turn. So if it's turn 5, you should be at 50 gold per turn already. Might be slightly unrealistic. There goes Mohenjo.
I conclude then this.
Grab another admiral. This is fine, but not necessary. I guess the city can get an encampment as well. I don't have big plans for them. So that's fine. Don't need monarchy. $200 gold. Hot diggity. I've been in plenty of games where that 200 gold has felt significant. This is not one of them. Not sure what to do. I suppose that and this. And then that kind of gives me an excuse to get the next building. How many times has Vesuvius murdered people? We're not talking about it because we've been on a nice run where they haven't been killing us. It's erupted twice.
Doubt if you will.
It's erupted twice. You might have jinxed it. It's possible. I think I want this now. Okay. So there's a small chance they'll eventually get to this tile, but I kind of doubt it. These marsh tiles. This is really a cool wonder. I really like those marsh tiles. I could build this one. I don't think we have trade routes to them. No, we've been able to just kind of spread it out. Like, we don't have to do it, right? We don't have to make this. Like, having one city with 4 is frankly outstanding. Although this got eaten here, didn't it? So it's actually still 3. How about up here? It would be this. Because, again, I'm not going to send trade routes here, so we don't need too many of them. We're working on it now. Blue. Just for the fun of it. Seriously. Seriously. Mark, we're fighting. We're fighting now. Yeah, a 6 population loss is pretty brutal. Yes, send aid to me. I need gold. It's fine, Mark. It's just so funny. It's so funny. It's a 23 yield tile here. Campus grants? Should we start running projects? I could get a preserve here. I'd rather just get the armory for now. That's so fun. I can't believe we had gone so long. So long. Like, when was the last eruption? Turn 103. We had gone 51 turns without an eruption.
And B.
I know, it's like it's listening. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Something with a volcano, not really. So when is it best to harvest stone or trees? Ideally when you have a policy that's multiplying the efficiency of your harvest. So early settlers for like 50%, early like naval units for 100% extra efficiency. But there is no wrong time to chop things, really, unless you're. This is a good question, businessman. Let me give it the proper attention it deserves. 1 second. So if you're playing an appeal-based game, you have increased incentive to leave some trees for later. Not only in the short term, if you're running like something like Earth Goddess, there's a little bit of a benefit to national parks and things because old growth forests themselves have an extra appeal on them. But like, this is not a woods that I really want to harvest. And frankly, I could have you could argue that I should have kept the stone here as well, because this city doesn't have a whole lot of productive tiles. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eventually. That's borderline enough. But you could argue that the 7th would have had some value. Versus like this, I actually should have maybe like. The reason I didn't chop this one earlier is I had exactly 1 builder charge left, and so I just decided to lumber mill it. The yields from lumber mills and mines are somewhat similar. However, if you have like woods on top of a hill, you're better off just chopping the woods, because that's a raw like boost of production, and then you can mine it for a very similar yield, right? So at the cost of 2 builder charges, you could accelerate something that matters, right? And usually things that matter, you should be running a policy card alongside it. So like wonders, 15% towards wonders, because you get that chop plus 15%, et cetera, et cetera. And then the longer you wait, the more the value is. So like this stone later on in the game is worth quite a bit of production. Early on, it's beneficial because like you want to build like that ramp up early on matters a lot. But basically, there's no wrong time to get it and harvest, but just try to do it as efficiently as possible. Like for me, I chopped this because I was like, I really want this harbor to be done so that we can get extra yields and things like that. But yeah, you should definitely be chopping almost as much as possible, unless you are specifically in an appeal-based game. And in those types of games where I'm running Earth Goddess, I don't chop as many woods and things as I have. Mills and quarries are fine, but I do think there's value to harvesting things for sure, especially if you have Magnus. And you should move what I will often do, what often is a very good thing to do. Magnus gets another 50% to those removals, right? So Magnus plus policy cards, you're seeing all kinds of efficiency come at you, right? And so what you can do with Magnus, because he takes 5 turns to establish, is we could like move Magnus here, chop out all of this stuff, like plan your wonders, plan your cities, chop out all this stuff, and then move Magnus to the next city where he can do the same thing, rinse and repeat, and you just get massive like acceleration of wonders and districts or whatever it is that you're trying to do. That's kind of the best way to do it. So there is no wrong time to do it, but try to do it as efficiently as you can. Yeah, moving governors, definitely, especially Magnus, I find. Early on, if you get Amani, who gives you 2 envoys, this is a very good early governor because you can get an early suzerain, and then you can move Amani around and get multiple early suzerains, and those are worth 2 era score a pop. So pay attention to obviously the envoy situation there, but Amani's another one that likes to travel pretty well. Pangea you like to establish because you don't want to spend 5 turns not getting these benefits. But the other ones it makes a lot of sense for. So good question. Good question. I could buy the shipyard here too. But I think I'll let them build it since I don't have much else to do, and we have another trade route available. So let's find a good one. 52. So anything to Cahokia is good. I should look at their tiles again too. London. So where's this city? Here. Let's do that. Magnus chopping settlers is great. Yep, it's a great way to accelerate your early game. This is a very, very small thing, but I'll show you what I'm doing in a second, and it does kind of matter. We're basically, the way that I'm divvying up these artists' works, we're getting 2 extra culture for it and a little bit of extra tourism. So it's not nothing, but it's like, you know, might as well if you have the option. All right, we have a spy here in London. We're going to start with gain sources and then go into siphon funds. We're just going to keep stealing all of the gold. Why the heck not?
There's always money in a banana stand.
Mark.
I am having a love affair with this ice cream sandwich. You want some?
100 bits for murdered pop.
As an act of contrition, Mark has donated 500 bits, and I appreciate that very much, Mark. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the 500 bits. And it was you know what? It's comedy that you can't even plan. So I'll take it. I'll take it. It's no problem. So now we're only 6 era score away from this next golden. I probably don't need to be just mass buying these anymore. We grabbed 1 artist. These are worth 3. So buying that artist basically is going to give us 9 culture per turn for effectively free. So that's kind of worth. England always looks squirrely because she likes to settle your continents. She wants to have a city on your home continent. So she always looks a little frisky. I will, you know what? I will accept your gift. Thanks, Dido. Oh, wow, this is so great. See, Mark, you're making me rich IRL, and you're making me rich in-game, too. You just had to kill a few people. I mean, you got to crack a couple eggs to make an egg sandwich. That's not how that phrase goes. I mean, yes, I'm accepting all the gifts.
I don't like to commit myself about having it.
So speaking of chopping things, we could definitely use a Magnus here to chop out St. Basil's. But I think I'm just going to get it started. Love how each of the gifts don't really have a massive effect on all of it. All right, so if we were to stack 2 great works of art in the same... Actually, let's do it here. Let me illustrate this. So you can see that each of these great works have been worth 3, right? And this is slightly inefficient, but I will do it for as a teachable moment here. So you can see we're getting this culture, a little bit of tourism. We're getting relic and relic tourism over here in Apadana as well. You can see that there were 3 and 2 respectively. Pause until next turn. Oh. This seems like a good trade route. 10 production? Oh my goodness. Exploiting welfare? Yeah, you could argue that that's what I'm doing. It's only 74 gold and 10 production. Seems kind of sus. Should maybe skip it. Maybe that trader wants to retire at home. All right, so again, these works of art can be worth 3 culture and 2 tourism. Except, this one, because it's anti-themed is the way that I'll explain this. Because it's from the same artist. In order to theme an art museum, we want different artists but the same type of work. And here we have sculpture, same artist, right? And so the extra one has diminishing returns on the value it gets. We only get half the tourism at 1 and only 1 culture. So much better to spread them out, which is what I was doing by like moving the relic and kind of making sure we had spots to just throw the art in different museums. So that's all I was doing there. +2 theater square here or preserve. Preserve's just better, right? Preserve's just better. Man, I like the preserve district. Just looking for 6 more era score. Look at that vision. Preserves. It's like a neighborhood that doesn't suck. That's the tagline. That's the Preserves tagline, yeah. Fair enough, Zero. How you doing? Other than itching for a little civ. Okay. So how's our economy doing? Trouncing the AI at this point. Can we buy anything in our cities here? Buy that. Art or artifacts? It doesn't super matter. I think the lazy route is art, so I'll go that route. Chancery is worth a little bit now that we've got some stuff going on here. So Chancery up to 6 gold. Ooh, Consulate. 24 gold, 2 science, and 2 faith. That is a very good building. That's a very good building.
However beautiful this.
Just keep building that stuff. How much are GDRs? I know, I love his laugh. It's good. 7,200? That sounds right. I don't know if merchants, great merchants, have always been able to repair pillaged farms and plantations. That's news to me. Spaceport is 7,200? Okay, that's why that number sounds familiar. Cheap when you're making 2k gold per turn. Not quite there. Have a wonderful weekend, Hot Kettle. Thank you again for your generosity and your friendship. You're a wonderful human being, and we will miss you. Have a wonderful weekend. All right. How's religion coming? We're okay. 6k according to the wiki.
Improvement.
All right, 10 turns on the era, so we need 6 more. Good enough. There is a big difference between neighborhood and preserve, though, because the preserve actually takes a district slot versus the neighborhood is just bonus, right? So that is worth noting. Oh, I should do... 4 turns on Taj. That'll secure our golden age pretty much on its own. Pretty much on its own. All right, what else do we want here? I'm gonna override this for a +3 campus. It's one of our good production tiles in this city, though. I think I'll just have him build this. That got introduced with the Monopolies update. Thank you, Atlas. I didn't know that. That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, we have a new governor title. I talked about getting Reyna in the game, but we also have a wonder to build with Magnus. So I think I'm gonna continue to delay the gold-focused governor in our gold-focused Civ game, which is maybe not ideal, but I want to get some builders. I want to get this done. I'll go builders and then I'll sub in skyscrapers. It's a brave city settle on her behalf. Would I prefer the food and production here? I think I would. Over 5 gold per turn. Is triangular trade worth it? 70-ish gold when I'm making 1,400 per turn doesn't matter. Okay. So triangular trade with 18 trade routes, because I don't feel like doing math. 72, right? But it's actually 108. And then we're also getting 27 faith per turn from it. So I see your point. I see your point. Like we could give up 108 gold per turn and not even really flinch. But I guess the question becomes like, what's the replacement value? What are we putting in for it? Something like science adjacency. I can see this point. I can see this point for sure. Science adjacency is worth 20 science. It's close. I can definitely see the point. I can see the argument, absolutely. But I don't know. I don't know which I prefer. Yeah, I think it's close to a wash. I think maybe the bottleneck is science. And so, again, can definitely see that point. Maybe we go 3 turns here and switch it. We also need this last trader. But the meme of maxing the gold. What's giving us all of that culture? Vesuvius plus preserves, plus a couple of really nice theater squares, plus a bunch of science.
Good to see you streaming
from
again.
Trade Confederation.
No, last week must have been difficult.
Yeah.
But happy to see you here and be here for you, TGM love.
Thank you, Cap. Thank you very much. I haven't really talked about it, but yeah, it's been a bit of a tough week. It's good to be back. I feel great. I feel great today. So thank you very much. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the message as well. And thank you, of course, for the 4 months. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We've got all the wonders coming. So really, we didn't even have to buy those great people. And I think we're going to overshoot our era score. But yeah, I'm seeing the point that science is absolutely our bottleneck, right? Not that the gold is bad.
Wie handel weigert, denkt vaak dat hij maar van ons
Yeah,
kan
I know,
pakken
Zombie.
wat hij
You're right.
wil.
I'll start using the
Hij
mods
heeft
at
het
some point.
flink mis.
Let's get a couple more builders while we can. Oh, I need to get another trader as well. All right, so available routes. So many available routes. $60. I feel like because I'm building a wonder, I'm just going to grab it here. I'm sure there's a good one for us to grab. Okay. A musket. How are you liking Baldur's Gate? Are you playing the new one? I played it for a bit, and then I didn't want to spoil everything for it. I've been playing the last Epoch to scratch my ARPG itch, and it's been pretty fun. I'm pretty much out of stuff to do in Valheim. What else have I been playing? That's about it. I've been playing a lot of Magic, which is, I think, why I'm playing other games. Just the latest Magic set hasn't been super fun to draft, at least in my opinion. So Magnus is here in 3. Policy switch next turn. I'm going to buy just a couple more Liang builders. And then hopefully that'll be enough. Fair enough. All right, so we need to get here. I wonder if we just click that button. 7, 7. Yeah. Feels weird that triangular trade is not a policy that I want to run. But I definitely think that the science is more valuable than the gold. Thank you for pointing that out, by the way. Still getting used to the new Civ. Of course. Yeah, this seems good. Wonders on the way. Turn 162. How do I like Portugal now? What game modes do I think will enhance their abilities? I mean, certainly Secret Societies. Heroes, of course, is always good, right? Because they're city-state shenanigans. Having city-states does matter quite a bit. And that's where we customized this game. Yeah, I think they're fantastic. I don't think you want to play them on Pangea or Inland Sea or like they're map dependent, you know, to some degree. But on the proper map, they feel perhaps like the most powerful Civ ever.
Being seriously assailed.
From this city. Okay, so we kind of want to stack them here, although not like crazy. This is kind of a small benefit. We didn't build our system here of trade routes to go from one city to many. If you stack this with like Zimbabwe and then put a bunch of the now improvements down, I think you can do that better. But we've focused on 2 cities with our Vitorias, and so I think having a diverse array of trade routes is still going to be better for us. But let's go ahead and sub out this card for science. I'm gonna be. You know what? No. Yes. Let me buy one more builder. With Liang. Okay. Oof. Yeah, that is brutal Moodster. Think of it in terms of diminishing marginal utility. Yeah, absolutely. And there are certain strategies in Civ where you want to like dogpile on one economy. And we've talked about it throughout this game of diversifying our economy. We talked about it a lot early on with Pingala and like what we were doing with science and culture and stuff like that. But yeah, once we have gold at this level, like a little, like, you know, I'd gladly give up 10% of this for 10% of this. And that's kind of what we're doing. Roughly. Especially notable, like that, because we've run out of things to buy. This is even more true. Like we're kind of just saving for era score. We don't even need anymore GDRs, stuff like that, right? If we had more stuff to actively buy, I might feel differently about it. Like if we could buy universities still, and all sorts of things like that, like it might feel a little bit different. But we're just not at that point of the game. So I don't think it was a mistake doing this for all that long. But certainly, I think it's better at this stage. Two turns on Magoo here. What does this city want? I would take another policy card. Let's just wonder spam. This is definitely a game where we're building all of the things. We're basically out of stuff to explore. So we'll park it. All right, London, let's try to steal a turn's worth of gold from you. She has no walls. She must not feel very threatened.
Did you ever build a castle in the air? Here is one, brought down to earth and fixed for the wonder of ages.
All right. More theater. We're going for GDR victory type, I believe. Yes. Yes, indeed. It should be a blast, as it were. All right, so Golden Age secured. We've got 6 turns left. I could try to avoid more era score by delaying these wonders and stuff. Like we've got Oxford next turn, but we saw that he's like Oxford's being built somewhere here, right? So we don't really want to do that. We'll just rack up the era score. Hopefully we can buy our way to any future era score that we want. Speaking of, I mean, can I wait 6 turns? So I'll have 24 more. He'll be over 200. I think I can wait. Have I ever built a GDR before? Normally my game's long since finished. Yeah, I have to go out of my way to kind of make GDRs work, like we're doing in this game, right? But I've certainly built them before. We've had some fun. What is GDR victory type? Giant death robots, specifically a form of domination, but just very, very late game. I like to go out of my way to use them. I've used them probably 3 or 4 games. But yes, you're correct in that most of my games are done well before that era. You think you might buy it?
The clever men at Oxford know all there is to be knowed, but they none of them know 1/2 as much as intelligent Mr. Toad. Engineering is the best steel.
Ooh. Those were decent. Can I just buy the world with gold? Yeah, probably. They node so much. They did node so much. That was actually good for us. And now we're reasonably close to uranium. I can't run much. I suppose I'll get a market. Statue of Liberty. I don't think so. I don't really want more districts here, weirdly enough. We have insanely productive cities for having 0 industrial zones and being largely coastal based. That's a good song. We found some oil in the desert, and we settled on it too. Hey, Aquarian. Yep, we're still here. Still here. Still selling fake doors. All right, with that, let's go ahead and put a cut in the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you've been watching over on YouTube, I do appreciate it. We're winding down our era, and we're getting close to the point where we at least can know if we can dominate the world with our uranium. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.